Hello, I'm so excited to continue this conversation with you around the theme of wholeness. And today I want to talk about the filters that we have up. We don't even know, but they're filters that we have up that will only allow certain things through. Or another way to look at it is that they are blocking out certain things. They're not allowing certain things to be received by us. Okay. Okay. Wow, we could talk about this for a long time. I love the idea of talking about those filters, but that's for a different time. What I want to say about these filters, specifically around wholeness and specifically around being a parent of an adolescent, is these take on a different level of importance. Okay? Because when our kids are 7 years old, let's say, they're spending, so they're in school, hopefully. Um, they're in school, but their non-school hours, they're captive to our environment. They have to, they spend a lot of time with us. And so we have a lot of exposure to them, right? But as they start getting older and as they start getting into adolescence, which starts at at different ages, but it can start as early as 10 in some cases. I mean, it's getting earlier. Okay, so as they get into adolescence, the dynamic changes, right? It changes to one of, I want to spend more time with my friends, or I, I want to spend more time with my friends in this club leader, or this mentor teacher, or whatever. But they're spending time outside of our orbit, our atmosphere, okay, our environment that we've set up. So, since they're spending less time with us, that means that we have, by definition, fewer opportunities to be with them, to be observing them, to be supportive of them. And so, if in those more limited opportunities as adolescents, they do or say something and it bumps against a filter and doesn't come through, and we react negatively to it, that, like, we don't have all those opportunities. So that's going to be more meaningful. We don't have the same kind of opportunities to recover from that because we're not spending as much time with them. And P.S., they're going to be a little, like, naturally more critical of us. So, it would be much easier as an adolescent for a child to say, like, oh, well, you can't even get over the fact that I'm in my room for 2 hours after dinner. Like, screw you, right? It'd be much easier for them to kind of react and push away and spend even less time with us. So these things become just more important as the parent of an adolescent. And so I want to give you an example from, of course, personal example from a few years back. And this is an example where I actually, I actually did let something through, but it wasn't easy. I had a little chatter in my head. I let something through, and then something beautiful grew. And it's something that just stays with me because I it's not what I would have expected. So I'll just tell you the story. It was years back when my son was choosing his first classes for high school, freshman year. And he was going to a high school that is a college preparatory type of school. So there wasn't a lot of choice, right? He had to take a math and a science and a social studies, da 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 da. He had room for like one elective. That was it. And so I'm like salivating because I'm like, oh my goodness, there's robotics, there's engineering drawing, there's introduction to computer programming. Like, there's all these really cool things. I'm so excited. I wonder what he's going to pick. And so we're sitting there together, and I said, like, oh, so sweetie, so we had a little bit of, it wasn't even really choice, but it was kind of like, okay, you placed into this math class, you placed into this, da da da. Let's look at your elective. And I said, like, what are you thinking? What would you like to do? And he was very sure. And he said, intro to guitar, Mom. That's what I'm going to do. And so I had, like, you know how you can, when you're drifting off and you can have like a whole dream, but really it's like in a second and a lot happens in that second. Well, I had that and I was like, whoa, wait a minute. Like, there's all these other great choices and you're picking guitar. Are you kidding me? And then my head went to, wait a minute. We got you guitar lessons when you were like 4 and you did it for whatever 6 months and you stopped. So don't you already know that that's not for you? And I had all of this happening like in a heartbeat. And what, I was able to kind of talk to myself, and the conversation went something like this. It went, well, he has had guitar lessons and he has been able to play around with it. So, yes, he put it away, and 10 years later, he wants to take it back out. How cool is that? He already knows it. And he seems very sure. And I didn't have the words for it that I just explained to you about filters and adolescence then, but there was a part of me that was like, well, he seems very sure. Let's see how this goes. Like, who am I to know what's really right for him? So the payoff here is not only that I didn't push against him in the moment and we didn't have a conflict and he didn't retreat to his room and go like, my mom doesn't understand me. Okay, not only that, but a couple of Christmases ago, he did like a little mini concert, actually with his brother, and he played 3 or 4 Christmas tunes for his grandparents in like a different style. He's really into like the metal guitar and like the heavy metal stuff, so he played them in that style, and it was super cool. Everybody loved it, and he played a number of solos or leads, I guess, in his latest guitar concert. And actually, today's the day that they're doing a senior prank at school, and he and his guitar play a prominent role in that prank. I can't wait to hear about it. That'll be a story for another day. But all of that came into the world, and it maybe wouldn't have if I had put my foot down and like, no, 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 I know better, and don't and this and that and whatever the other possibility would have been. It came through. And so I would suggest, and I'm always looking for what's that other filter. And Michael has something to say. Sorry about that. But what's that other filter that I'm not even aware of that I am putting up and blocking something from coming through? And next episode, I have a really big suggestion for you to help support you through that, because this is deep stuff. It's not stuff that most people, but certainly not even most parents are willing to do. So I applaud you if you stuck with me this long. I applaud you for showing up for yourself and for your kids, um, and just being open to something new. So until next time, I will sign off. Bye for now.